coming to you live over at Breakpoint Singapore 2024. My name is Eno, I'm a co-founder of ISC, and this is my very good friend,
Simon from Solana ID.
And what's the show all about, Simon?
So this show is going to be about the ins and outs of Solana ecosystem, because it's just basically two founders in the Solana ecosystem talking about everything that happens within Solana. Because we're right at the roots, right? We talk to all the builders, we go to all the conferences. We might have some alpha here and there, and I think in this show we're just going to chat about this alpha, have some discussions around it, and share it with everyone who.
I mean, that's where we met, is at an event. We were at Solana Founders Villa over in Dubai.
Yeah.
Hosted by Super Team UAE and Alex Scott. Thank you very much, guys. But because of gatherings like that, we get access to all sorts of information that legit other folks in the industry who might really love Solana, but like obviously don't have the time, the means, or the opportunity to go to the conferences.
Yeah.
We just hear stuff and we know things.
Yeah.
And like we won't be sharing like any crazy confidential information here. But like,
I mean, we're trying to be at the edge, you know, at the edge of it.
Because push the boundaries.
I mean, think about it. When I do something like build a product, build a company, do a podcast, do content, I think about what would be something that I would use, what would be something that I would listen to. Right. And if you think about it, if I would be not able to go to these events, I would feel FOMO. I would be like, shit, you know, what are they talking about?
Yeah, what exactly happened? Right?
What exactly happened? So I want a podcast, or I want a show where I can just dial in for an hour or less, and then just listen to people that have been there, talk about, you know, what happened on the ground.
I mean, there's like, you're gonna, over the next few days and maybe even weeks, like they're gonna see a lot of short form content on Twitter.
Yeah.
But all that content is gonna be sound bites. You'll probably maximum get like maybe 30 seconds to, let's say 5 minutes of content.
Yeah.
And most of it is going to be really snappy, memey things. But I don't think that there's anyone that's doing long form coverage of what's going on at Breakpoint. Like, if you want long form coverage at Breakpoint, you literally have to watch the entire stream. And even if you do watch the entire stream, you're not going to get the feel of what it was like to be there.
Exactly.
So I think that's kind of like some things that we can share.
That's great. Like, we're trying to, you know, transport the vibes from Breakpoint, because we're literally in Singapore right now. We literally come straight from the conference to this room right here in the taxi.
Dude, it's been absolutely okay. Let's just talk about the vibes.
Okay, let's start with the vibes
for a second. It's insane.
It is actually insane.
I don't think that Simon and I are particularly popular. Like, what I mean by this is like we're not Toli, we're not Raj, we're not Meow or Mert, right?
Like the OGs in Solana.
But
everyone knows
still,
them.
You know, it's like everybody we've ever met
is
here. So it's like when you're walking around the hall, what does it feel like for you? It's just
like a family reunion. You know, it's like people coming, like all your cousins and aunties and uncles, and you know, like they come from every corner. That's how it feels like.
Doesn't it feel like you meet someone, you're like, hey man, and you start talking for like 30 seconds, like, how has Breakpoint been? Like, where have you been? Yeah. And then someone taps you on the shoulder, and then you go, huh? And then you're like, oh, like I've been in so many awkward social situations where like I want to keep talking to, but I love everybody, right? Yeah. So you want to keep talking to the original conversation, but then a new guy comes and it's just like, what am I supposed to do here? Yeah. And they don't know each other, right? But also the reverse situation where two people you knew independently know each other, and like it's like, wait, how the heck do you?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a people's business that we're doing, right? We're building our applications, we're building software, we're trying to be at the edge of innovation, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And we cannot do that if we just hide out in our garage, because we lack the reality, what's actually happening. And here we're connecting with the people, even if we're not talking at the conference about deep technological things, we're bonding, right? We're kind of strengthening connections to then later go on a Zoom call again and being a bit more close, you know, to be able to just work together more efficiently. And
you know, another point too is that I kind of feel like because the Solana builder community is super small, it's very easy to vet people, right? Yeah. So like I've had, I mean, I can't name names, but I've had interactions with people where I end the conversation and I say to myself like, oh, that was like a really nice conversation. I enjoyed that. And then I'll be hanging out with other people and I'll be saying like, oh, have you met so-and-so? And then they'll start telling me like weird stories about them, right? And I go like, oh, I didn't know that. But I usually give people a pass, like maybe like they have one bad story, but if I see a pattern of like 2 or 3 stories of the same behavior, it is a huge red flag. And it's actually a huge benefit for builders who come out to these events, because Yeah, I mean, like nobody wants to go on Twitter and burn bridges and like be a jerk about it, and like also it's unconfirmed information. It's always second source, right?
Yeah.
But it does make you, I think, a more cautious and safer builder if you know which partners or people that are really fun and joyful to work with. So, like one question that I have for you is that what would you recommend to a builder who might not have like the opportunity or the means to come over to one of these conferences, or even a person who does have the opportunity, they save up all year and they come to Breakpoint, but they don't have the connections, right? So what would you recommend to someone who's just getting started and deeply wants to be a part of the ecosystem?
Yeah. What helps is to build connections. I think when it comes down to that, you should make sure that you start somewhere and work your way up in the network. The more people you get to know, the easier it will be to widen the circle of your network within the ecosystem. In each industry, it's a network effect thing, right? It's like you have compound interest in networking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need to start very small at the beginning. You know no one.
Yeah.
You arrive to Breakpoint.
Yeah.
Then show curiosity and walk around the booth. Maybe that would be the first thing I do. I go on the conference, and it's a natural behavior, right? To just walk around the booth and talk to the builders at the booth and ask them some questions, get some merch, get engaged with them.
Sure.
And maybe ask the right questions as well. Ask about, who should I talk to here if I want to learn something about X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And they will point you in the right direction. If you can get an intro from someone on site to another person on site, you can work your way up very easily.
I think you touched on something that's very important here, and I think it's a super underrated skill. I think that people need to cultivate a quality of natural curiosity. Like, sometimes I hear the BD answer of this, which is like, you just need to ask people questions, right? But I think what you and I are trying to say is that like, you need to cultivate a naturally curious mind, where like when you're engaged in a conversation with someone, you're not just thinking of what to say next, but you're thinking about what actually interests you about what they said, right?
That's if you do this in life,
right?
Life is so much more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't even like a conference. Dude. This is like a lifetime.
No, it's
but also a couple of cool things is like in the Solana ecosystem. Number one, and I truly mean this. Like I think that Solana builder / community is more friendly than ETH, and that's a completely subjective point of view.
Yeah.
But like for whatever reason, I feel like Solana people are super just nice and like, hey, what's up? What are you into? Like, as long as you're nice and you give out good energy and you're naturally curious about other people, like you can't help but win in this ecosystem. Like you started less than like 4 months ago
at Founders Villa with you, where I met you, right? Like
now
you're
the entry point. I think more connected than I am, which is insane.
I wouldn't say that, but I'm getting there. Like,
no, but you're insanely connected in that very short period of time.
It is possible, right?
Yeah.
Like you can do that.
Right.
And it's not that I didn't have any kind of unfair advantage. Like I just came to that first event, which was the Founders Villa, and then I did what I just told you, working my way up from connection to connection, you know, and asking the right questions and being curious, you know, and just don't like force things on other people. Yeah. Like don't show your shit all the time. You know, try to take from them some information that they are actually want to give to you, you know, because we want to talk about us, right?
I think that's the biggest unforced error, what you said right there.
Right.
It's people just are obsessed with, they feel like they'll never have an opportunity to talk about what they're talking about. So what do? They should
start with it, what you should not do at conferences, right? Because now we explained a little bit about what you should do, but what you should not do is essentially to go on a conference and just chill whatever you're doing to everyone else in like a 30-second pitch, and then just fuck off to the next person, you know, and rinse and repeat the whole thing. And
when can you tell when people are like trying to do that to you? It's the eyes, right?
They just have this kind of intense energy.
Yeah.
Of like being.
It's like nervous energy.
They're like nervous, and they never ask questions. They don't listen to me.
Right.
And you can sense as a human if someone is really not interested in you.
Right.
And they just want to put something on your plate, right? And I had this a few times happening, you know, just someone coming to me, being like fake nice, you know, just telling me, this is who I am, this is what I do.
Right.
And they don't even know if I give a shit or not. Maybe if you ask me first, you know, if you have like, I would open a conversation, you know, with something easy, casual, maybe something funny, that's always the best, you know, and then at some point ask, hey, what do you do, by the way? Why are you here? What brings you to a conference? What's your goal? And then if I know what your needs are, you know, then I can say something that could interest you.
Dude, and like most of the people I talk to, and I think you probably feel this way, like are not relevant to you at all in any way, right? And that's okay. Like you can still hang out and be buddies, right?
Sure.
And there's nothing to collaborate on.
Yeah.
But what's weird is that if you do that systematically, then this kind of collection of people that you've built a family with, they end up knowing the relevant people anyways at some point in time, right?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, and another thing too, as I wish that like people would just give me the tagline.
Yeah.
Right? Just like the one, and you don't need to convince me. It's just like, I don't even tell people like how ISC works. I just go like, yeah, I'm a stablecoin issuer, right?
Yeah.
And if anybody's interested in stablecoins, they'll ask, right? But most people don't care, which is okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
And then you don't have to force it on them.
Yeah, right. And it makes for some deeper connections.
100%.
Okay, so I think for this next segment, we're going to be talking about some of the biggest news and announcements to come out of Breakpoint. We can talk about like what other people have been saying during the conference, our understanding of what these announcements mean. Do you want to get started?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I think there have been a lot of big news.
Yeah. We can't cover it all.
No, we don't. Like we will cover maybe like 10% of it.
Not even.
Not even. Like the things that we think are exciting.
Yeah. Exciting to us. Right?
Exactly. But I think they would be exciting for a lot of people because they are kind of relevant, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, before we start with that, what do you think about the general setup of this year's Breakpoint? Because
this setup is insane. It's amazing. Like, so Breakpoint used to be like 5 days, and then you would just have, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think that the Solana events team has done the best job out of any conference of not having too many panels or too many keynotes, but this time they really hyper-concentrated on making the conference experience fun.
Right.
So like the keynotes are 5 minutes maximum with very few exceptions. Like Jupiter gets 15, but makes sense. They have a lot of things to announce.
Which is still short.
Yeah, it's too short.
Like Jupiter gets 15.
Yeah, Jupiter gets 15. Everyone else gets 5 minutes. That's
insane.
all you get, right?
Yeah.
And also they have a debate format now, so like people are actually. Have you seen any of the debates?
I haven't made it into that room.
Right. But you have a moderator, and then you have the pro and the con, and then like it's nice. Like it's not like a boring panel with like 5 people, and you're listening to. Nobody cares about the 4th or 5th person's opinion about the same topic. You know?
Yeah. Same. Like I feel, I think like panels never have been really exciting. I've been on a few, like even this time I've been on panels, and it's so hard to make them interesting and like exciting. But
firesides are better, 100%.
Fireside is better, like quick, short, time-capped content on stage is better.
Yes.
We don't go here to, sit in a 1-hour keynote that we could watch online in a condensed format anyway.
Right.
Like we want to get like quick and snappy news that no one else got before us, at the conference. And I think that's what happened this time.
Yeah, so this year Breakpoint is snappy, right? Like it really hits all the content. And it goes by super quickly. So you could be in the main hall for 30 minutes and hear, 6 different announcements, which is like unheard of, right? Like you're just getting all the news immediately. So format this year is like much easier to sit through.
So news, should we talk about Jupiter first?
I'm actually well, maybe. The way I want to do it is I want you to pick the one that really speaks to you.
Right.
We have like a list of all the different announcements that we're going to mention.
Okay.
So like what really excites you?
Okay, I mean, obviously we need to start at the network level.
Sure.
So we should start at the Solana level, and we should talk a little bit about FireDancer / Frankendancer. Frankendancer. I don't even know. I was asking you earlier, like, what the heck that means. I found out it's basically the FireDancer beta.
Yeah, FireDancer beta. I know you guys would hate us calling it that, but it is essentially what it is, right?
So what is it?
But Frankendancer is on mainnet, and then FireDancer is still on testnet.
Okay.
And like, the theoretical TPS of Solana was, I think we looked it up, it was 65,000. And now... Theoretical.
Not realistic.
Yeah, that's just theoretical, right?
Yeah.
Now they gave a live demo of Frankendancer doing 1 million TPS.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like servers in a single room.
Yep.
It was truly utilizing the network, like different validators across the entire globe.
Yeah.
Just getting 1 million... That's not even theoretical. That's
yeah,
demo,
there was
right?
like
synthetic transactions, but still, like incredible that they were able to do that.
So in the words of Mert, just to read it out, they ran 100 commodity machines. They are globally distributed at 1 million TPS.
Yeah.
1 million, not co-located, not even full FireDancer. This is fucking insane.
Right.
There was a quote from Mert, and I think we can confirm his opinion on that. It is actually pretty insane. What does it mean for a blockchain? If we have 1 million transactions per second that we can actually roll out.
It just means that like. In the past, we've had protocols like OR that have completely congested the network.
Right.
And that is just not going to be an issue anymore. Like even Drip sometimes, if there's in early days, would really congest the network. And now I feel like, we're not going to have any more performance issues for Solana. And like that's just covering the projects we already have. Like imagine this story that we tell to all the other projects on Ethereum and even Bitcoin, right? Like you were telling me Bitcoin has like how many?
7?
Yeah, and Ethereum?
Like 30?
Right. So what the fuck? It's like, it's
a
a million.
Yeah.
And it's not even FireDancer. So to quote Merck, this is like fucking crazy, right?
Yeah. So in I think it just essentially it means like higher transactions per second mean we can handle more transactions and more users on chain, interacting with protocols. It increases the finality and the speed of the chain again, which is crucial for a good blockchain. And essentially, bottom line, better UX.
But okay, look, I'm not trying to show your product here. Like we promised ourselves that we wouldn't show our products, but like if you just allow me to make this one point, which is that like if we keep increasing the TPS and we make it very, very affordable, that means that spam is going to be a real issue, and right? Bots. Because it's going to be very affordable to spam, right? Like I don't know what kind of products are going to come out, but Solana ID actually kind of fixes this for you, right? Like you could filter it in such a way where it's like once you have Solana ID, and that's why I'm so bullish on your product. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, I also invested in Solana ID, so I'm like...
Disclaimer. Keep going.
Not financial advice. But still, I mean, like, that's the vision I see, though, right? Like, when you... And I'm not trying to show my bags. It's literally, when I hear 1 million TPS, the first thing I think of is spam, right? So, like, how do we fix this problem? Like, so do you think that Solana ID could...
Yeah, we're positioning ourselves to go in that niche, to help with spam and bots, right? Because, like, bot farming and bots is like a very economical, feasible thing to do on Solana, while on Ethereum mainnet, it just costs too much money to run a bot farm or something.
Okay, I won't do that again, but I'm telling you, like, it makes sense. Solana ID in this specific use case.
Awesome. Okay, so anything else you want to say about the Franken Dancer, Fire Dancer update?
I think we move on.
Okay, cool.
There's too many things to cover.
Too many things. Okay, next one. Jupiter.
I
think it's big, so maybe...
Yeah, I mean, they have... like 5 different upgrades that they mentioned.
3, 4, 5. Yep.
But the thing that really, I know they had 2 acquisitions, but I'm personally very close with the Solana FM team.
Yep.
So like I was, and they've been keeping a really, tight ship over there. So this blindsided me. I had no idea that Jupiter would acquire the Solana FM. And what's crazy is that I went to a party last Friday at the Solana FM office. And they have the Jupiter mural. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together like, oh, they acquired them. Meow was there too, but I just thought he was hanging out. I didn't really...
No, it makes a lot of sense. Now it makes a lot of sense. No,
everything makes... but I feel very slow. Like I should have caught that earlier.
So basically the Solana FM is an explorer on Solana, similar to SaltScan. And what do they do different than SaltScan? I think they doubled down on user experience, being very easy in the UI UX.
They also launched Quantum, I think a few months back. So Quantum makes it a lot easier to tag transactions. So it's not like giving you full visibility into someone's wallet. Like that's not the point. It's like when you look at the chain from a macro level, like what percentage of transactions are like actual like payments transactions versus like NFTs or et cetera, right? So,
and then they also have the native integration of a lot of those wallets like Solflare that directly lead to Solana FM, is that right? So you click on view the transaction.
I think you have options, but
I mean, by default, my Solflare goes to Solana FM.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Amazing. I think some alpha that we can share here, like it makes a lot of sense that Jupiter would acquire Solana FM on multiple levels, and one of those levels is that the builder ecosystem in Singapore and Malaysia, it is like yes, Solana is a family, but even within this family, you have extended family, and then you have like what do you call it, like your immediate family, right? So the way that I would describe the Solana Singapore and Solana Malaysia ecosystem is that everybody knows each other.
Very close net.
I know everybody knows each other out in the West too, but there is no closer connection in Asia than the Singapore and Malaysia Solana communities.
Right. So we've been in the office here on the other day. I just shared the screen.
Oh, you?
So you got my co-founder back there.
I see. You were there with Kimmy.
We have Kimmy and Nick, who are the 2 new Super Team leads from Super Team Singapore. And in the back, obviously, you see Super Team Singapore on the Jupiter design, what you referred to earlier.
My co-founder Richard is a founding member of Super Team Singapore.
Oh, he's as well.
Yeah, he
I actually didn't know that. So there are 3.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh no! He's not. Sorry, he's not a core organizer.
Right.
He's a founding member.
Oh, gotcha.
The core organizers are definitely Nick and Kimmy.
Right.
But I'm saying that like of the first class of people that got
so what I am for Super Team Balkan.
Right.
I think is he for Super Team Singapore.
Exactly.
Yeah, like first kind of official member.
I'm not a part of a super team yet, so I feel a little bit left out.
It's actually so weird, bro. I don't like you. For me, you're part of Super Team Global.
Cool.
By now, like the way you are connected. So I don't like. Is it gonna happen?
I really want to be a part of Super Team Dubai, but I need to move there first. So
right. Okay, we'll let you know. We'll let you guys know next time if it happened or not. So what else?
The next thing that we want to cover, I believe, is Seeker.
Right. What is Seeker?
Seeker is the second Solana mobile phone.
Gotcha.
If we want to, we can call it Saga version 2, but I don't think they would like that very much.
Right.
We were talking about this on the car on the way here. I'm very bearish on Seeker, but you actually pre-ordered.
I pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will give you my con, but I want to hear why did you pre-order?
Right. So I think honest answer is because I'm just a Solana bull, and I just wanna be I wanna experience it.
Sure.
I want to test it myself to make my opinion. So I wouldn't say I'm bullish on the actual phone. I'm bullish on my iPhone because fucking Apple cracked the code of making a very good native ecosystem OS.
Right.
That does a good job. So I'm not an Android fan. Mm-hmm. So I told to my co-founder, Apple X Solana would be insane. The new iPhone Solana.
Okay. Then I would be very.
That would be bullish. But this one, let's see what it does. I'm curious about why you're bearish on it and why you think it's not super relevant for Solana.
No, I think it's super relevant.
Okay.
I'm just very bearish.
Gotcha.
Well, first, actually, the thing I do want to confirm is price point.
Yeah, $450.
See, super bearish, incredibly bearish.
Too cheap.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to shield the homies projects. Jambo is a superior option, right? If you're looking for a crypto native phone, where do crypto phones make sense from a macro perspective? I spent 7 years working at Samsung Electronics Mobile in Korea, HQ, and I know for a fact that people choose phones for 3 different reasons, and they're very well documented, and it's been well surveyed. So number 1 is going to be battery.
Right.
Number 2 is going to be screen quality, and number 3 is going to be camera. And sometimes the order shifts, but it's really those are the 3 things that people buy phones for, right? And by definition, if you're buying a phone from a manufacturer and adding some customizations to it, you will not have best in class for either of those 3, right? And if you're selling it at a $450 price point, who the heck is that phone for, right?
It's not expensive enough for the high quality folks.
It's way too expensive for you to want to experiment with it, but it's not expensive enough for them to make it best in class in anything, right?
Interesting take.
It might be best in class for crypto use cases,
yeah.
But I just don't see the long-term success of the phone.
I would just love to experience how easy it is for me to experience the Solana ecosystem in my pocket.
Right.
Because that's what the pitch is.
Right.
Make it easier, more seamless for me than my clunky phantom software experience, opening the browser in the wallet and blah, blah, blah. Because that's the pitch of the Seeker, essentially.
So then I would buy Jambo.
But Jambo is just, for me, it's too slow and too cheap. So I hope that the Saga 2, the Seeker, is going to be a bit more high quality and comes closer to what I'm used to with my iPhone.
I can see from your background and your preferences and your means.
I have a Jumbo.
Yeah,
I have one. So
I'm saying, but it would make sense for you to try to get the upgrade option, right? But for me, what I look at is in emerging markets, they have insane crypto penetration. Nigeria is ridiculous. Most young Nigerians are on crypto strictly just to use. USDT on Tron as a store of value, and so if you can get a $99 crypto phone that might even provide you with incentives for owning it, makes so much sense. Very bearish, bullish on Jambo.
Yeah.
Same. A $450 Seeker phone, and I know that there's so many cool announcements that came out, and so I feel like the Grinch. My honest opinion is. It's very interesting. It's very cool that they're doing it. I just don't see a long-term future for it. But Toli has now transitioned to full-time phone salesman, so I guess he's never talking to me. I've never talked to Toli, and he's probably, if he does see this, he's never going to talk to me.
No, let's see what I like people that go big, and that try to challenge the status quo. And this is definitely a big move. A blockchain company, a cryptocurrency company trying to enter the mobile phone market.
Yeah.
At least it shows they have balls, and they're trying something new. I think there is space. There might be space for the Seeker.
But here's my critique, right? Is that But can we agree that the Saga was initially a failure?
Oh yeah.
Like a huge failure.
Yeah.
They had if things didn't pick up with Bonk was the reason, literally the historical reason why the Saga sold out, because like Bonk increased in price so much that it was like, what was it, twice the value of the phone at some point? Right?
Yeah.
And then once that became clear, then it was almost like a go-to-market strategy for other projects to start airdropping different things into the Saga phone. Nobody was thinking about airdropping anything to the Saga phone because there were no dang sales, right?
Yeah.
But once Bonk pops, then everyone's buying the phone. It's a part of the meta, and then people start airdropping things. Saga Monkeys also did very well. So I mean, like were some projects that were born out of it that I deeply respect, but it's just like it was a failed experiment. And like, to be clear, you will not get the same incentives for Seeker. Like, it was a limited supply the first time, and so that's why you got all these cool incentives. If they're printing or manufacturing way more phones, like, you are not going to be, no one is going to be getting as rich as they did with Saga, right?
Yeah.
Once people realize that this is also going to flop again.
Right.
But that's just my my spicy take.
Yeah. Do you know how many Seekers there will be?
No idea. No
Yeah.
idea.
Okay. So price point right now $450. When the pre-order window closes, it's going to be $500 for the early adopter window, and I guess then after this the price is going
Is
to
it even more expensive?
Yeah, it's
Dude.
getting a bit higher. So right now we're in the founder window. Basically, that's what I call it.
Yeah.
And then 2025 is the time whenever it will be shipped in some
Well,
time.
look, hey, if I'm wrong, then you know, I'll go box Simon or Source or Totally or something. Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. So yeah, that's the Seeker. That's the news about the new phone. Did we talk enough about the Jupiter updates? By the way, we mentioned a bit the acquisition of Solana FM.
I don't know enough about any of the other shit that's going on. So.
Okay. I mean, basically in its essence, we have an update for the perps.
Yeah.
Basically.
Jupiter Mobile. That's going to be kind of cool. So Jupiter Mobile is former Ultimate.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. So Ultimate Wallet. I was a really heavy user of Ultimate Wallet. But yeah, now it's. I have the. Do you have the beta app?
I have it.
Good. Yeah. I mean, it's good. It isn't as robust as Ultimate was, but I think they're still thinking through a few things. So I'm a little curious how that goes.
Yeah.
Congrats to the. I think that was probably the first acquisition that the Jupiter team ever made that I'm aware of. The
that I'm
public
aware
one
of. Yeah.
is the Ultimate Wallet.
Yeah. Yeah. True. That is. Yeah. I think that might be true. And then I think the mobile is going to be cool. They say onboard millions to Solana with Jupiter Mobile. Obviously, that's the pitch, right? To make it more accessible.
They're taking their sweet time with that app, so you know it's going to be good. And like Jupiter truly does make great
of course.
software.
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
No.
Not anymore. They have too much money and reputation to lose as well to fuck around. So.
Oh, we should talk about this. So we are going to get to the funding, but can we please talk about the drift Lambos and McLarens and
Let's do it. let's pull off the drift.
What was the deal with that? It was like if you stake, what was it, like 40,000 drift or something like that? I don't know what.
Actually, they had I was able to sign up to ride one of those.
Oh, you just signed. Oh, did you ride?
I actually didn't make it on time to the spot, but you could just sign up to get carried around with one of those rides from one event to the other.
Dude, those cars were sick.
Yeah,
like I'm not a car guy.
Yeah,
at all.
I just have them here. I share them.
Yeah,
so people can check them out.
It's crazy.
Supercars. They had Ferraris there. They had Lambos there.
They had Ferraris too.
Yeah. Here, look at this one. Yeah.
Like again, I am not a car guy, but like Ferrari does make really beautiful cars.
Of course, 100%. I mean, look at this. It's a McLaren, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So bullish on everything.
So I was telling Cindy earlier this morning that I saw 3 of those drift cars, like not at Breakpoint, like in the streets, and it wasn't even on the way to Breakpoint. I was just walking around because we live here.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, could you? What?
Good marketing.
And the drift cars are very shiny. Like,
good marketing.
Impossible to miss.
Yep. So I guess it has been quite of a cost to rent those cars for the days and fully wrap them in drift colors.
Yeah.
But maybe the next kind of thing that I'm pulling up on my Twitter here is the reason why they. Before we get to that, is the reason why they made this investment because they have more money now.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So they raised another Series B. So 25 million led by Multicoin Capital. Yeah. So they have some fresh money. Now they have more than 50 million in their round that they raised. So that's quite a bit to work with, I guess. And now they're obviously doubling down a little bit on, I think, the global expansion of Drift. That's one of the things they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to also focus on mobile interfaces, is what I'm reading. And then obviously they have the new Drift Bet,
Yes.
right? Prediction markets on Drift, where you can basically trade the next happenings in the world, trade on them, bet on them. Like for example elections, similar to poly markets, I guess.
Yeah.
As a competition. Any opinion on the new bet protocol, on the product
Super
itself?
Super bullish. Initially, I didn't understand why it wasn't permissionless. Like, why can't just anyone open up a bet? Because like I don't know about now, but when I checked it out last week, it was only 2 different types of markets that were available. The first one was whether or not Trump will win the election. And the second one was whether or not Kamala Harris would win the popular vote.
That's what I see.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, I mean that's in their header.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right. Yeah,
so I think it's still it's the main meta.
But it was explained to me, and it became super obvious when someone explained to me, if you made it permissionless and anybody could create a market, what you end up is like with fragmented liquidity, right? So like instead of like all the money concentrated into like a central question that could be worded in 4 or 5 different ways, right? You concentrate it in just like a single resolution, and it's kind of the Drift team for now that's managing that. But I would love to see like a way more robust list of things to bet on.
Yes.
But we shall see.
It's early days.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is super
They just
early
rolled it
days,
out,
right.
so let's see what comes next.
Have you met David yet?
I have met him actually.
He's super nice.
Yeah, he's super low-key.
I did not like, I met him very briefly in New York, but he was like super swamped. Because he was a part of Solana. I think it's called Solana Incubator. It was like a Y Combinator style
for Solana
incubation. Yeah, but it was in New York, so he was based out of the New York office at the time. I tried to talk to him. Dude was way too busy, right? But I finally actually got a word with him, and he's super humble, nice dude, like David a lot.
They came, David and Cindy, they both came to a very private kind of event I had in Seoul.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with some of my friends.
Yes.
They invited them and they just showed up like in this random shisha bar and had a good conversation with them. So really nice. The whole Drift team is good people. And,
good vibes.
Actually we're in touch with with Quid from Drift who's doing partnerships to just ideate a bit of Solana ID use cases within Drift. So I'm bullish on whatever might come there.
Right.
Anyway, next point on the list of news. I would have one more that I would like to share. I think then maybe if you have another one, and then we can slowly wrap it up as well. So FlashTrade is actually releasing their token.
FlashTrade.
So I'm a big fan of FlashTrade. I'm using the perp DEX since a while, just doing my swing trades there, putting some money into their pools to get some APY using their kind of retail market making model, where you supply the liquidity for the DEX, for the perp DEX, and then you get some APY in return. FlashTrade has been around for a while. They have never raised funding before. They are completely bootstrapped. They have not raised funding. So they're bootstrapped. They put their own money. They make revenues.
What's their TVL right now? Do you know?
I actually don't know, but it's in the.
I think it has to be over 100 million.
Yeah. I think the token could be interesting. Obviously, it will be incentivized. Like people with the Beast will be incentivized. A higher level of Beast will be incentivized, which is the NFT from Flash. And then people that, just active on the platform will be incentivized. The token shall be a bit special. That's what they say, because the news literally says the token that will set a new standard in Solana DeFi. So let's see what that means. They want to do a fair launch. They want to do kind of transparent, be very transparent in what the token does on the platform.
Right.
They don't want to do the normal vesting, the linear vesting that we see, where people just get unlocked and then the token kind of dumps from the unlocks and so on. So some big goals that we see. And I'm actually curious. It's going to happen this year, probably. That's what they said. And I'm interested in the strategy that they follow for the token launch.
The first time I met the FlashTrade boys was in Dubai. Was that similar to you?
Anas,
I was first like super interested in them because they allowed you to do 100x leverage on precious metals, which I mean, like you have that on ETH, but I haven't seen it in Solana. I also had an hour-long call with Zoheb, and I don't know exactly what he does at the company. He's definitely, because like he could be anything at that company. He could be their CTO. He could be their BD. He could be their chief data scientist. He could be just the amount of stuff that guy knows. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I didn't understand how FlashTrade worked.
Right.
And so like I just asked him like, hey, I sent out a random tweet. It's like, hey, is there anybody who could explain to me GMX style perps in excruciating detail?
Nice.
And he like commented within 5 minutes. He's like, you want to call? And then we were on a call literally 5 minutes after my tweet, and he explained in excruciating detail how GMX style perps work, and now I understand. So not only are they great builders, bootstrapped without any VC capital, but they're super generous with their knowledge.
Yeah.
He didn't have to spend time to answer random questions about basic questions.
Yeah.
They weren't even advanced questions. They were stupid questions.
True.
Like, why would you need stablecoins in GMX style perps? Now I understand they're for shorts, but like I didn't understand it before. So
yeah.
No,
they're great people, very transparent,
Yeah.
like honest builders. So yeah, bullish on Flash. And yeah, so I think they have like very high leverage. That was one of the USPs.
Yes.
Actually, I think I did 200x before. I'm not sure if it's still in product. I might take it back on the gold.
I see.
But they have very high leverage
Yeah.
that you can use,
Right,
which is I mean obviously it's a bit stupid to do it, but at least the fact that you can do it, technically it's very interesting.
Right.
Cool. Moving on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like just to close out this whole like news segment / like breakpoint vibes, I think and what we haven't covered at all is like institutions. You know, like there have been like more institutions who are either like not crypto related at all, or maybe have a little bit of crypto exposure, but only on the ETH side. That's one thing that we've noticed at the conference is that we have all kinds of people who used to laugh at the idea of launching on Solana because it was a Sam shit coin, or like FTX has just crashed, or like literally just 2 months ago there was an outage. Like these narratives are no longer relevant because we haven't had an outage in almost a year, right? And even the last one is debatable. It's we have more TPS that's coming down the pipeline. Like to be fair, Fired Answer has taken forever.
It's not easy to upgrade a blockchain that's like running.
That's true.
So
we also recovered from FTX, which is kind of like, what can you do to hurt me now? It's impossible. Like you can't kill me, bro.
Yep. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I think that's a good example of it.
And the community has not only not left, it's grown, right? With the exception of Frank.
Right. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. But
Sorry. I love you, Frank. Haven't met you, but you know.
Yeah, spreading love. Cool.
Okay.
Bullish. I think Solana reaches more serious professional stage.
So like, we kind of covered, I think, some of the cooler, more official things. I think now it's time to talk about some of the more degen things. But let's start off light. Let's start with bonk boxing.
Right.
Yeah. Because I don't want to like mix them all up. I just want to talk about bonk boxing first.
Yeah. I think let me just pull this little clip here up. So I'm just gonna share this on the So what we're seeing here is basically
who's that loser?
We see how how Eno goes down. So what the heck happened there? Well, Bonk organized a charity fight basically, and they just invited some builders on Solana, like people like us, to fight against each other.
Dude.
And you pulled up a good fight. I was watching it.
Chico really kicked my ass. Everybody I got 4 private messages from people telling me that Chico was going to kick my ass.
Yeah.
And when I said I was going to fight you, and you mentioned he was going to fight you, nobody was messaging me, not because you wouldn't kick my ass.
I'm a nice guy.
There's something, exactly. I like Chico, and he is a nice guy.
But he has this in his eyes. He has this fire. I'm going to fuck you up.
I feel like he was telling everybody he was going to fuck me up because like everyone was messaging me that he was going to fuck me up. And I was all like, dude, it's not personal. It's just, it's a charity boxing match, for God's sakes.
He did win. He did win.
Oh, no, he kicked my ass. Yeah. Literally, he hit me so hard, I almost thought about selling my bonk. It was just so painful, I went. I was an MC on stage.
Yeah.
I left the stage during lunch to get my ass kicked.
Right.
And I had to go back to the stage.
Right.
And when I was on stage, I had a headache. Like I was seeing stars. Like it was.
That's what it means to be a builder in Solana.
Dude, it was brutal, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm doing that again next year.
Okay.
But how did your boxing match go?
Well, it was also very interesting. It was a draw at the end of the day.
Do you have a video of your boxing match?
I do.
If you go into your photos or something, you should be able to find.
Yeah, you can just pull up my Insta. Nice. So basically, what happened is they put me against the biggest guy on Solana, like some 6 foot something guy, and they just made me fight him.
Yeah.
And then essentially this led to the following story. So basically I just went completely nuts and went rogue and just put everything against him.
Dude looked like he's just trying to cover himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then he actually broke his his glove.
Yeah.
So it was a good fight. It was really fun, super exhausting,
Yeah.
but it was a joy at the end, and we called it a day.
Dude, I'm telling you, before this boxing match, I was so convinced that 3 rounds, 30 seconds each,
Easy.
like I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, sure, I'll be tired, but I'm not going to be exhausted, right?
Yeah. Oh, it
you know
was
what
so
really screwed me up was it's a bouncy house.
Yeah,
and I
it's so
didn't realize how much energy goes into balancing yourself in
And
a
then
bouncy
covering,
house
and-
while trying not to get your ass beat.
Yeah.
You know?
Talking about ass beating, why don't we pull up the next one? So let's see what happened here. Actually, let me just open this in a bigger manner.
Oh my.
So yeah, there was an interesting party going on last night. So I think she's pregnant. That was one of the Solana parties that happened last night with Iggy. And I don't know if we need to comment a lot on this. But
Okay, well, you know what? First of all, let's rewind a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
So like we've seen the clip, but like let's give a little context here. So Iggy Azalea, right, has launched Mother on Solana.
Yeah.
Out of all the celebrity coins that have launched, and I think there were over like 24 that launched, that's the only celebrity launched and backed and supported meme coin. And this isn't like other celebrities where their teams have just done it for them.
Yeah.
It's very clear that Iggy Azalea is doing this directly.
Yeah.
Right? Which is cool,
Yeah.
actually. Like
Yeah.
I like that she is trying to understand blockchain, or probably has a better understanding of it than maybe us.
I think probably there have been some people involved, that kind of helped her.
Yeah, but she's actually trying to learn though.
Sure.
Like she's not just like, because
Sure.
you
It's
know
a
how
smart
celebrities
move.
can be.
Yeah.
They can be like, take care of this for me,
Yeah.
right? And like I'll show up.
No, it's smart. Like
She's clearly involved.
yeah,
right?
she's clearly involved. She's clearly involved.
Yeah, she's
So
very clearly involved.
now she threw a party.
Yeah, well, she was supposed to speak at Breakpoint.
Right. Oh,
Right.
she didn't.
She didn't.
Okay.
Because there's drama around that too. And I know the events team, and they want to throw a professional event that's taken seriously.
Yeah.
Because Solana is so much not taken seriously
Yeah.
because of
So
shit
we
like this.
Need to be careful.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. But then you want it also to be fun and to get attraction.
And
like,
I get where
attention.
Iggy is coming from too. Like she feels like I told you that I was gonna dance on somebody, and then you agreed that I could throw ass
Yeah.
on
Right.
somebody, right? But when push comes to shove, like it seems like the conditions changed,
Yeah.
right? Or I mean, I don't know the full backstory, so I'm not gonna really speculate here.
Yeah.
But my point is that Iggy ended up not doing the debate because she wanted to throw ass on somebody, and Foundation ultimately said no, right?
Fair point.
Or like they could dance, but like not on camera because this is streaming worldwide. So
Yeah.
like, I don't think anyone's in the wrong. I don't think Iggy's in the wrong, and I don't think Foundation's in the wrong.
Yeah.
And I think both sides have decided to just keep it respectable. It's just
And
a
keep it-
difference of opinion.
Keep
right?
it kind of apart
right.
from each other.
Yeah.
So then we had the kind of private party from Ziggy.
Yeah. So
Iggy.
all
So-
of that potential degeneracy. Like, so here's the thing. Before, like after the debate was canceled, I was like, oh, that's a shame, right? Like I really felt like it would have been great to see that.
Yeah.
Honestly, after seeing some of the video footage from this party, I think it was maybe a good idea.
It's a good idea to just keep it apart.
Keep it separate.
Keep it separate.
Yeah, keep it. Like I honestly think that was the smart move.
Yeah,
at
like
this point,
the conference
right?
was for a bit more, serious people.
And no disrespect. It's like
it's
you
fun, bro.
do
Like,
what you want to do.
yeah.
But
I think people had a good time at the party. Like we didn't go there, but
Yeah.
some of my friends have been there, and they're all over Twitter right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't mind. It's fun. Like,
yeah,
whatever. But
I mean, the FOMO boys were there.
yeah, they were involved. Yeah.
George-
shout out to George Slice.
George, dude, man,
Yeah,
put on
man.
a shirt.
Yeah.
Have some shame. What is the matter with you, man?
No, you did a good job.
No, I'm kidding, I'm
it
kidding.
was a good dance. Yeah.
But like,
I
okay,
could-
can we talk about this a little bit? Like, yes, I work on stablecoins, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I don't like a little degenning. Like I like, letting my hair down metaphorically and
Right.
having fun.
Right.
But is there a line? I look. I know there are going to be some anarchists out there and decentralization maxis who are all about like your personal liberties and doing whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Right. And I understand that all social norms are artificial. They are constructed
Yep.
by society.
Yep.
Right. If not all, then most.
Yeah.
But I just feel like keep it classy.
Exactly. I think it's a personal preference thing.
It is a personal preference
You
thing.
know, that's why as long as you don't judge other people.
Oh, I'm judging a little bit though. Like, do you think that there's any room for judgment here?
As long as it doesn't impact us as an industry too much, okay. But this might be problematic,
Right.
Because it does reach people that look at it and say, "Oh, crypto again.
This is crypto.
Crypto
Right.
party. This is Solana. This is what Solana is about."
Right.
That might be a bit dangerous because it impacts us as builders on Solana
Yeah.
as well, right? But then you also want the attention. So a negative press is press.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've seen several tweets from women that I really respect about how uncomfortable this makes them feel, right? Because, I mean, like, even throughout this week, I've heard several personal stories of, women being harassed, right? But this is like a really confusing issue for me. I don't really know how to frame this because it's like, clearly, the people that Iggy hired are happy to dance.
Of course, that's their job.
They're a bit, but they're fine with it. They're having fun.
Yeah.
That's right.
I guess so.
But you have builders in this space who clearly feel like because of examples like this, they get harassed more. Right? It's kind of like there are men in this space that don't realize that there's a time and a place.
Yeah.
Clearly, at the mother party, if you were going to do something like this is actually the party to do it.
Yeah.
This is legit the party to do it. Like
100%.
Iggy Azalea would.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
seems like she wants you to have fun and
Exactly.
go wild,
Yeah,
right?
and that's what
kind
they
of
did,
Her
right?
brand, right?
Yeah.
But I think the problem is a lot of men carry this attitude everywhere.
Exactly, and
right?
they don't see the line that's drawn by other women.
Right.
So, but that's a general societal problem, I would
Right.
say. And I think, speaking as a man, I can only speak as a man right now.
Right.
And I can only tell a woman to. I think the only solution to this is as a woman to be just above it and be very strong and self-confident and know when the fuck to say something to someone, right? And deal with the men like you're a fucking strong woman, because that's a good way out there. And we as men can also do something.
Yeah, but I mean, like I've definitely seen interactions where, and like I'm not trying to get into a whole gender debate right now, but like I've definitely seen interactions where motherfuckers are not taking the hint.
Sure.
Like they're very headstrong women and they're telling them straight up, nope, not interested.
Yeah.
And sometimes, the response is like, oh, you're just lying to me that
Yeah.
you have a boyfriend, or like you're just not that interested in me.
But
It's like, can I make this any clearer
Like
to you?
I said, it's a societal problem, and
Yeah.
you have people like us maybe that can also, in that moment, I would stand up as well in those moments,
Yeah,
and
that-
say something to the guy.
That's another thing
You know?
too, is like it's not only just on women.
Yeah.
Like this, we need to self-regulate, right?
Yeah.
I feel like too often there are obviously situations that are playing out in front of us.
Yeah.
It's not like a man's job to protect a woman, but like if clearly there's a situation where someone is overwhelmed regardless of gender, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're in a position to step up and be like, yo, what's going on here, right? Like that might make all the difference in the outcome, right? But yeah, it is, like I'm still working through, like I feel really nervous talking about this stuff because I don't want to get canceled, but at the same time, like I'm trying to learn what's appropriate, what's not appropriate.
Speak your mind. I mean, we can maybe make a separate episode about this, especially.
Yeah, for sure. Like harassment at conferences, which is a fucking problem.
It is a
right?
problem, and I'm happy to talk about it openly, right?
Yeah.
And I have strong opinions as well, and they might collude yours, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Which would be an interesting debate, but
Yeah.
let's not do it here.
Yeah, sure.
Let's not do it today. Let's have a separate one for
Sure.
this. Let's get back
We
to
might
Solana.
cut that out.
Let's go back to Solana and just wrap it up, maybe, because I think we've covered a lot
Cool.
of ground.
Yeah.
And we talked about the latest happenings at Breakpoint, and
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of new stuff coming in the next weeks that we can cover after Breakpoint.
Yeah.
So basically, just unpack a little bit of the actual stuff that gets implemented and executed after people talk about it. Sure.
So
I think looking forward, this was episode number uno.
Uno.
Right, so the very first one. So there's going to be second and third and so on. We're going to make this a nice series, right?
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to have more of these. And we're going to roll this out through our channels, make some clips of it maybe here and there and put it out on Twitter. Have the long form on YouTube, have the long form on the most frequented podcast platforms.
Yep.
And some of these will be in person like today, and some of these will be in a Zoom setting.
My heart is just like, I want to always do these live, just because I love.
But it's going to be special, We have some of these
like you have this special like conference edition.
It's going to be cool. I think we're going to have fun in both formats, and we just want to keep the frequency, more than just once a month.
That's
ideally.
true. That's
so
true.
we're going to have to do some of the Zoom sessions.
Yes.
And we're going to do it. Looking forward to it, and we're interested in people's opinions also on that. So we're going to ask some of our friends what they think about it. You guys can always leave some comments here and there, talk about it on Twitter. And yeah, anything else you wanna leave off
Yes.
at the end?
The last thing I want to say is not only thank you to the entire Solana community. You guys have changed my life. 2 years ago, I wasn't even in crypto, right? And now I've got to meet. Like I thought in my 20s, my life was basically over. Like I met all the friends that I was going to meet, and all the interesting people I was going to meet. I already met them. So the rest of my life was going to be spending time with these people. And while they still exist in my life, in my 30s, like I'm meeting so many more new interesting people than I thought was possible.
A whole new universe.
Right. And it's like, and everybody comes from different walks of life. I don't have very many German friends, to be quite frank. And your background, maybe we can get into your lore later someday.
Yeah.
But it's super interesting to me. You're also incredibly fucking jacked.
People say that sometimes. Yeah, I don't know what's the matter with that.
Yeah, I don't know what's the, what's going on.
Get
Dude,
solid.
What do you bench, like 600? Jesus.
No, my bench is so weak. But yeah.
But yeah, no.
I can it resonates with me a lot.
Yeah.
The thanks to the whole ecosystem, like it's life changing,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't come from nothing. You need to be out there. You need to give something to the community, as you do, as I'm trying to do.
Trying.
And we're getting it back.
Yes. Well, actually,
So
like legit, and I'm not asking you to shit on ETH. Like I'm not interested in that. I'm asking you to compare kind of what does it feel like to try to build on ETH versus building on Solana? Because I've only ever had experience building on Solana, so this is all that I know.
Right.
So like you truly have, kind of two perspectives. So it's a two-part question is how is it different to build on Ethereum versus Solana?
Right.
And second, like how does this affect how bullish you are on Solana?
Right.
So I'm kind of curious.
we're gonna dig in that in the next one, amongst other things, right? So thanks
You didn't
for
fall
everyone.
for my bait.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in to this one. Was really cool to have the chat,
Yes.
I really enjoyed these. And yeah, catch you guys at the next one, and dialing out from Singapore.
Yes. 사랑합니다. My brother.